Welcome, everybody, to ACEP's Ultrasound Section Undergraduate Medical Education Subcommittee meeting. Very happy that our chair, Emily Lavallo, has helped us make an industry roundtable for us to enjoy today. So I'm going to hand it off to her. She's going to kind of explain what's going on and then introduce our first speaker. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Dan. So thanks everyone for joining today. We want to keep on track, so we'll jump right into it with EM Sono. Just as an overview for our participants and the attendees, we're giving each vendor about 2 minutes, maximum of 2 minutes, 30 seconds to present the highlights of their product. And all of this will be kind of summarized in a table that we will send out, and this meeting will be recorded and available for viewing at a later time. We're hoping to have about 25 minutes for attendees to ask whatever questions they have, and we hope this is a lively and helpful discussion for everyone. So thanks very much. We will start off with EM Sono. Thanks.
Okay. Let's see, let me share my screen here. Allow to share window, allow to share this window. Okay. Oh, I think that's not the right, hold on here 1 second. Allow to share screen. Okay. Can you see my presentation at all or no?
Nope.
Let's see, let me try this here real quick. Well, of course, that's not going to work. So I'll just do this real quick in 2 minutes here. And I can give a link later for people that can see what. So basically, EM Sono, my name is Bob Jones. I am one of the co-founders for EM Sono, along with Dr. Rob Blankenship. I am a professor of emergency medicine at Case Western and Metro Health in Cleveland. So EM Sono is one of the first ultrasound or POCUS websites out there. We founded this back in 2003. We've had over 100,000 customers in the last 21 years. We have contracts with medical schools, residency programs, fellowship programs, corporate groups. So the big thing that we have at EM Sono is that we've got over 90 hours of materials, and we tailor things to the audience. And that's, I think, one of the big things that we have is that we don't try and put the round peg into the square hole and teach everyone, whether they're a first-year medical student like they're a first-year fellow, that we have partnered with anatomists, physicians in different specialties, and we've created a vertical curriculum for medical students going from their first year all the way through their fourth year. And that's, I think, the beauty of what we have is that, working with the anatomists, we've worked with illustrators, and we have three-dimensional video, synchronized videos. We've partnered with Zygote Bodies, so we have unlimited access to, three-dimensional anatomy illustrations. And I think that's what separates us, the amount of content and the fact that it's tailored, that as first and second year medical students, we are not trying to teach you what we're trying to teach a fellow in emergency medicine. We're teaching you what you need from a systems-based approach, and we're there for you for all 4 years as you go from pre-clerkship into clerkship.
Yeah, and I think your grading software was also pretty robust. You got some pretty intense clientele. All right, so we're at the 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Who's our next contender?
Core Ultrasound, you're up.
All right, guys. Hey, I'm Ben Smith. I am a professor of emergency medicine at the University of Tennessee in Chattanooga. And I run a website called Core Ultrasound along with Jalen Avila. And we built a course called Sono Anatomy specifically for medical school. It's a 4-year ultrasound curriculum. It's designed sort of as a anatomy modules for the first 2 years of med school. These are very specifically, just put the probe here. Here's all the anatomy you can see, and sort of designed to be woven into anatomy and physiology lessons. And then we have quizzes associated with these as well, 500 quiz questions where you're asked to click on specific anatomical structures. And so the students are answering these questions, going through quizzes, and these results are available to the educators at those sites. And then we have pathology modules, just like you'd expect clinical ultrasound. just like we, teach to residents, but sort of like boiled down to the most basic of the lessons that we have. And these pathology modules are actually paired with pathology questions. And the pathology question bank is about, in the Sono Anatomy course, 500 questions where they're asked to answer for specific pathologies. And each one of these pathology questions has a little video explanation. And so we built this, each of these lessons kind of in the, under the kind of guise of 5-minute Sono model, where the students will go through and just look at the 5-minute clips, 5-minute clips on a specific topic. They can be assigned actually these topics by the educators at these sites, and they get email reminders. Progress is logged, and they're able to log into the LMS and see how they're doing. We have really robust granular analytics actually on the pathology side. You can see how a specific student performs, like sensitivity and specificity for specific diseases. And we've partnered with medical schools, residencies across the country. We have a mobile app that works fairly robustly with all of our lessons on Sono Anatomy as well. And really sort of designed as a flipped classroom model, of course, designed to be sort of woven into the core science curriculum first 2 years, and works best with on-site hands-on teachers who can use this sort of as a plug-and-play curriculum, enhancing those lessons by talking about clinical integration and hands-on training at the bedside.
I think you guys have really upped the bar for the quality of your video content and just the production value. And I think a lot of other areas of medicine, like internal medicine and anesthesia, are very jealous of what you guys have produced for emergency medicine. So well done.
Thanks.
Emily, who do we have next?
Wonderful. Thanks so much. So we're going to move on to our sim-based vendors. So we're going to start with eSono here.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, hello, everyone. My name is Adi. I'm the CEO of eSono, part of the Tribi Scientific group of companies. eSono is a cutting-edge, web-based ultrasound simulator designed for modern ultrasound education. It empowers learners and clinicians of all experience levels to practice and simulate real ultrasound scenarios from anywhere on any internet-connected device without the need of specialized equipment. So what makes us so unique? It's a web-based SaaS technology, no installation required. Hardware-free, scanning with virtual probe or using any smartphone as a probe joystick. Real-life scenarios, all content was acquired from real patients. Diverse mannequins featuring detailed anatomical views and cross-sections for advanced training. Extensive fast-growing library, updated on a monthly basis, covers various specialties such as abdominal, emergency, MSK, OBGYN, anatomy, and more. Automated evaluation, objective assessment, and grading system, including scanning performance based on comparison between learner and expert probe position and orientations. Content editing enables educators to create custom curricula, courses, and exams to meet specific learning goals. Now, let's watch a short video.
Sono has tons of content. MSK simulation allows scanning through real ultrasound volumes of pathology. Students can compare their results to expert impressions and learn sonopathology. Comprehensive evaluation is possible in multiple planes with transducer rotation and translation. Emergency and ICU cases allow for symptom-based or protocol-driven POCUS assessment. Probe movement simulation can be achieved using your smartphone.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. I think that the innovation of using a phone as the probe is just mind-blowing.
Really liberating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just so amazing.
Great. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to move on to SonoSim next.
All right, thank you. Just sharing my screen here. All right, can you see screen?
Yes, we
Yes.
All right, perfect. So that, and let's just see how can I shrink this down. Let's get that out of the way. All right, so got a few things that are kind of blocking my screen here. Give me just a second. All right, so thanks everybody. Appreciate the invitation and opportunity to share the SonoSim platform with all of you. We are a true educational platform covering ultrasound topics basic to quite advanced, and we're working to maintain our platform as the easiest way to learn and teach ultrasonography. We were founded by Dr. Eric Savitsky. He's an emergency medicine professor who has firsthand experiences with teaching or with the challenges to teach large numbers of learners. And this is really what inspired the formation of SonoSim, which has kind of maintained a charter from the beginning to help overcome the typical barriers to ultrasound education and training. Our ecosystem has been proven effective in peer-reviewed scientific studies, and we appreciate the leading role that emergency medicine is playing in POCUS. So the day-to-day challenges to teaching ultrasound, right? We appreciate those and how challenging it can be to introduce POCUS into a curriculum. You know, having access to a machine, having time with a qualified instructor, and providing each learner standardized access to the same pathologic scanning cases is quite difficult, and in some cases impossible. Also, overcrowding in the ED adds further strain, making teaching moments more difficult to carve out. And there's a time-intensive nature of performing ultrasound image review and providing meaningful feedback, which is a constant battle. And there's also a need to address the diverse learning preferences of individual students. So we're designed to overcome these barriers by providing standardized access to content that's foundational to bedside applications, and we're bridging the gap between theory and practice. The SonoSim elements were designed to save you time, to offer efficient feedback loops, and are designed to scale, whether that's through license rotation or the ability to adapt to growing class sizes. SonoSim is cost effective and is easily implemented with your curriculum, ensuring that your time side by side with students has maximal efficiency. So our approach is structured yet flexible. It's going to allow learners to learn foundational principles, to scan real pathologic cases. They can practice on demand, study at their own pace. They can select their favored learning mode. They can track their progress. And then most importantly, they can apply what they've learned by integrating ultrasound into medical decision-making. So every step here on our platform will be intentional and is designed to ensure that ultrasound is not just another skill, but, really a better tool for patient care. So, today SonoSim is trusted by 2,000 different institutions. We have more than 125,000 learners worldwide. We look forward to kind of working with you further and chatting more about your specific programs and ultrasound training goals. So please feel free to scan that QR code there and you can reach out to us directly.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you. All right, SimHawk, you ready?
Yep, I'm ready. Hi, everybody. My name is Eyal. I'm the CEO of SimHawk. Let me share my screen for a second. Okay. Okay. Everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Second. Sorry for that.
Emily, does the SimHawk platform use the QR codes on the side to figure out where the probe is in space with a camera?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen again.
Super
Sorry
cool.
for that.
That's okay.
Okay. So SimHawk is a ultrasound simulator that is SaaS web-based. What you will see here is we'll show you a short video and go over it, and we'll explain what we're going to see. Pretty much is we're going to work on any laptop We provide, of course, a kit with a camera, as you can see here. And what we have here is our technology and algorithm is in the head of the probe. That camera recognizes it, and this is how it knows how to navigate in the system. Very important to mention, everything in the system is real ultrasound cases. We have more than 10,000 ultrasound cases. Now, what is interesting in this thing that, as you can see, it's very hands-on training. We're doing big classes with everything, everybody using the simulator. As you can see here, it's very didactic training as well. There's missions, there's questions. It's not only free scan and finish. Then you can get, of course, performance feedback, compare your results with the results of an expert that actually performed the training and did the training. We have, of course, an abdominal transducer and a transvaginal transducer, not that that's relevant to this class, but we do have this. We can do invasive procedures using needle as well with a small dummy. So we can do that as well in the system as well. We have, of course, the Doppler here as well. You can use it anywhere, anytime. So a lot of our students use it, our users use it for online courses, with everybody in the home doing it with the class. And this is very important to show you how it's very hands-on, big classes. I'm talking about 50, 100 students in the same time. And everybody's using the simulator. It's not only one or two simulators and everybody's just watching aside and only one is actually using it. So this is CMOC for you. Of course, we have a lot of class and courses and pathologies and real cases for emergency and POCUS as well.
Awesome. I love that idea.
Great. Thank you. All right, Bantari.
Just sharing my screen. So hi everyone, thanks for the opportunity. I'm Vijay Paul, I'm an emergency physician and co-founder of Bantari. So Bantari is a virtual reality software platform that helps train doctors in how to do procedures in VR. So we have quite a range of procedures that are directly applicable to emergency medicine, from central venous catheter to chest drain to airway management, etc. But really a central focus for us is ultrasound and a pillar of our platform. So obviously there's ultrasound guided procedures, but we are increasingly expanding our library of point of care ultrasound modules. So this is a bit of a look on some of our modules that are live and now available in ultrasound. And it's expanding all the time with different use cases like POCUS abdomen, TEE, TTE, and to also pathological cases as well. So I'll just start this video just to give you a flavor. So I've just muted this sound. I'll just narrate over it. But basically, if you have a subscription to Bantari, you can download it onto your computer. And the computer is connected by a cable to a VR headset. So like the Meta Quest 2 or Quest 3, any of the commodity hardwares you can purchase off the shelf. Nothing is custom, so it's very easy to get your hands on some. And basically, you're immersed in an environment and from a library of procedures, ultrasound content you can choose. And essentially you choose, and in this case, you go in and actually start doing the procedure. So we call it a procedure, but what it really is training your ultrasound. And that could be small as you like vignettes, or long as you like as teaching like a full like POCUS abdomen module, for instance. So you physically interact with the ultrasound console. You're able to interact with the knobology, so depth, gain, whatever you want, cine loop, measurements, tracking. And then you see that basically the UI interface on the right. So that actually tells you how to go about capturing these images. And there's also training aids. And as you go through the training aids, you can complete the procedure. I'll just pause this. And you finish, there's this backend that you can log into and actually see your training data. So as an individual, you get very good feedback. But as an administrator, you can actually have your residents or your cohort do certain targeted things, set them a target. So it could be a digital logbook or an accreditation tool. So just to sum up, we're in a number of residency programs across the country. Harvard, BIDMC, Henry Ford Health, Yale, Johns Hopkins, Mount Sinai, etc. And yeah, we would love to bring it to all the emergency departments.
That sounds awesome. Super excited.
So fun. Thank you. Okay, we are going to move on to our sim-based models now. We're going to start with Elevate Ultrasound.
All right, so let's see if I can share my screen here as well. Switch to this, and if somebody can say if they see my screen, Dr. Lavallo, can you see it?
I see your Zoom screen.
Yeah.
My Zoom screen. Okay, all right, so let's try this again, sorry. Let's see if I can figure this out.
Giving everyone a touch of grace on the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I've got two Quest 2s that I was going to use for VJ's stuff that well, I'm gonna let Elevate take over. Sorry.
Okay, so you got my screen okay now?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right. So first of all, hi, everybody. Thank you for having myself and my colleague, Jessica Wycheck, who's on this call as well from Elevate Health. Some of you might remember us as CAE Healthcare. We recently had a rebranding about 9 months ago to Elevate Healthcare. So it's we commonly are referred to as both. Elevate Healthcare is headquartered in Sarasota, Florida, and we carry a vast array of products that span the areas of ultrasound simulation, patient simulation, sim center management with audiovisual solutions, augmented reality, virtual reality, task trainers, the list goes on and on, but all with the same purpose, and that's of meeting the evolving training needs of future healthcare workers and enhancing patient safety. With regards to our ultrasound product line, which is, the purpose of this call, we have an entire ecosystem of solutions to satisfy most diagnostic and interventional ultrasound training needs. So Blue Phantom is our first, and that's our line of task trainers. We have over 120 different derivatives of interventional and diagnostic ultrasound products for this. Those include small ultrasound training blocks for line placement and nerve blocks, trainers for central line, thoracentesis, pericardiocentesis, femoral lines, arterial lines, peripheral lines, as well as lumbar punctures, just to name a few. They are our most widely purchased products.
I don't think you moved on to the next slide.
Oh, I'm sorry. Which?
I just wanted to see the Blue Phantom products.
Yeah, it's just your title slide, and it's your slide deck that we're looking at.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm not sure if it's going to move then. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's try this here. How about that? Is that any better?
Yeah, we can see the Blue Phantom now. You can go into the full screen mode though. I believe it's in the bottom right corner, right down there. Yeah.
He might be multiple monitors.
Yeah, that's what I needed.
Yeah. This will work. Keep going.
Let's keep it. Right. Yeah. Thanks. All right. So beyond our Blue Phantom, we have our ICCU product line, which then is this one here. If that changed, Jess, did it change?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, perfect. All right. This is our online didactic training curriculum that we offer for EFAST, transthoracic echo, transesophageal echo, and critical care ultrasound. And then finally, we have our Vimedics. So this is our high fidelity mannequin-based ultrasound training system with content for bedside ultrasound, point of care ultrasound, cardiac echo, both TE and TEE, pleural ultrasound, abdominal ultrasound, as well as a full suite of first, second, and third trimester obstetrics and gynecology, fetal echo, and breast ultrasound. The system carries an extensive library of customizable cases and pathologies, self-guided learning features, embedded curriculum, and advanced training activities, all on a self-contained, user-friendly interface. Our continued advances in augmented reality and virtual reality cap off the system's highly advanced learning features to, in the most basic sense, teach the practical and cognitive components of ultrasound from the very beginner to the most advanced ultrasound learner.
Yeah, my lead simulationist refers to this as the ultrasound video game. And I think it's an absolutely wonderful product. We can dive more into it during the question and answer period, if that's okay, but I think time's up.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. My other computer froze. Hold on one second. Intelligent ultrasound. You're up next.
All right. Let me see if I can get mine to work. Seems to be a trend. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, great. Thank you. So we're Intelligent Ultrasound. We're an interesting kind of collaboration of how we develop ultrasound simulation. We use artificial intelligence. We use a hybrid platform, which is both real and simulated ultrasound images in order to integrate into a full body mannequin to give you a full body ultrasound experience. In that, for looking at BodyWorks Eve, we can create any pathology that you would like to see, and we can create it instantly. For example, on Eve, if I want to create a scenario around a car accident for an ED, we can create a tamponade, a pneumothorax, an aortic dissection, all at the same time. And with that, we have just integrated needling, which means that with those particular pathologies, I can now go in and do procedures to alter that particular pathology. I can make the tamponade better. I can make it worse. I can change the metrics, the metrics of the patient themselves, the blood pressure, the respiratory rate, the heart rate. So I can change all of those metrics within BodyWorks Eve. At the same time, we can integrate needling. And that's true for any pathology. But we're not just that. We also do everything from the very basics of ultrasound for your medical school students, which is your probe manipulation, anatomy, all the way up to the professional scanner who wants to learn how to do a procedure. We work with companies such as Medtronic, where we create devices for them. So your more experienced sonographer can also start to learn how to scan particular pathologies that or devices that maybe they're not trained on initially. So that's a little bit about intelligent ultrasound. I think I just hit the 2-minute mark, right? I think I got it.
You're a rock
That
star.
was sharp.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay, we are going to move. We're going to move on to our handheld associated education platforms. We're going to start with Wave Ultrasound.
Hey everybody, Renee DeVerstal here. Let me share. So let's see. Hopefully you're seeing my screen, not presenter mode. Cool. I think I might be the only internal medicine doctor here, but I've spent over a decade of my life learning from y'all, all of our emergency medicine colleagues. So I'm the chief medical officer at Wave Health, and med ed is my love and joy and my baby. So I'm CMO at Wave, and then also still professor of medicine and work at Oregon Health and Science University, where my conflict of interest disclosure is disclosed, and they are cool with both my jobs. So anywho, my shtick is I like to talk about building longitudinal and sustainable curricula with sites. We all know about the brain drain. I'm not going to tell you the pain points. I'm not enough faculty. You all know that. So this slide is courtesy of Dr. Richard Hopman. If you've ever seen him talk at World Congress for Ultrasound and Med Ed or any SUSME, this crowded medical curriculum. I just was at Carl, Illinois last week doing a fun visiting professorship, and they're like, we don't have time for our students to do stuff. And Dr. Hopman always does this in his intro slides, and then he moves that and you see like, yeah, 1909. So we're all still fighting the same battle. And I think part of it is a matter of the scarcity mindset, and that it has to be either or. And so I love Venn diagrams, and this is how I like to think of it. A lot of people feel like we're trying to cram POCUS into medical education. Don't mess with my foundational sciences, my reasoning, my physical exam. I still fight with my OHSU mentor about how POCUS ultrasound can better teach the physical exam. And instead, I want to think of us as using ultrasound as a way to augment medical education itself, as you're learning a clinical skill that you can use later in your career. I'm not going into details because there's not enough time, but I'd be happy to talk more later. Everything is modular, and I can actually program my learning management system with our content or yours. Some of y'all do great work, so what the hell, I'll put it in. So we have videos, required clips or assignments, quizzes, and then all of that leads into feedback. I'm a huge nerd. This is one of my favorite books in the world. And my favorite thing is to sit down and talk to you about your curriculum and what your goals are and come up with things that actually work for your school instead of just trying to have a one. I loved Bob comment on the no one size fits all. Assessment types, talk about this for hours, building in synchronous, asynchronous, formative, and summative. What are we actually trying to assess in our learners to prove that they're ready for the world? I guess I eventually have to talk about hardware. This is the current probe. It's a phased array. We have a universal device that has regulatory clearance that we're going to be doing a formal launch for, and that will be out soon. So our secret sauce is, I see Dan doing this. So you know what? You can schedule one-on-one and I'll tell you our special sauce.
But like it's not only are you getting the product and the software, but you're also getting like high-end medical education consultation is what I'm also hearing. So it sounds like
so I was on our
a
curriculum committee for 3 years, so I know
That's
all
pretty
of
awesome.
the fights. So
Perfect. Let's
anyway,
talk more
this is
after the second section.
Pride and joy. Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to Echonos.
All right. Hopefully I'm sharing my screen okay. Yeah, so I'll introduce you to Echonos, a company, our product Cosmos, and share a new development that's specific to ultrasound education. What we set out to do at Echonos, just to tell you a little bit about the product, is we set out to create a POCUS solution that combined both the highest degree of flexibility without introducing some of the compromises that often comes with that. So you may be familiar, a lot of the handheld technologies, sometimes they're super great from a simplicity standpoint. They're great from an affordability and portability standpoint, but can come up lacking in other ways. Whereas on the high-end carts, great image quality, great capabilities, but not real affordable, not real simple to use, not real portable. What we're trying to do with Cosmos is create something that combines the best of both worlds, create a solution that's highly accessible to everyone, new learners and experienced users alike, as well as for experienced users who are going to be using this for full-on diagnostic studies. So we have 2 probes, multi-purpose phased array probe for all your torso imaging, and a linear probe for all of your linear needs as well. And the exciting thing that we have to talk about as of real recently is a new platform we just launched called Cosmos EDU. It's a full functioning ultrasound solution with a full suite of AI solutions built in, auto labeling the anatomy, providing guidance on probe placement and positioning, grading the
I
image
really
quality.
found that, I apologize for interrupting, but time's up. The AI guidance was one of the things that that we really had our mind blown when we had some of your consultants actually come to our shop to view this. I really found that to be the real amazing, mind-blowing part, because that's what a lot of the learners were really focusing on. And our old dogs, new tricks problem, those docs really enjoyed that guidance as well. So it solved on multiple learner issues.
Excellent.
So I'm going to have us move on to the next person for Emily.
Thank you, guys. All right, we're going to move on to Echo.
Hey, this is Arun. How you guys doing? Let me share my screen. Sorry about that. Great. Hey, my name is Arun Nagdev. Nice to meet you guys. I'm going to be very quick on this. So we've developed an educational format that's a little different than others. I think we're going to leverage a little different. We're going to be short educational app that will be built into the product. It does what Luke just talked about, which is AI anatomical labeling, the relevant images for the clinician. Our AI is a little different. It's on edge, and what that means, it's built into the phone and the probe itself, so there's no Wi-Fi needed. This is done through actual on-edge AI, which is very, very different, and it's built around the new learner. I'm going to explain this in a very simple way. This is our main screen. When somebody pushes something as simple as, I want to look at the lung, right away, as they're doing that, sorry, I pushed it a little ahead, it actually defines an area where they can actually learn lung imaging in real time in an educational format before they start using their AI. So you can see here, this is a short version of it, but essentially, it already defines what patients are looking at or what clinicians are looking at. They're trying to find this anatomical location. And it also gives them an idea of what you're going to be seeing in more of a schematic format. And then you can see here, what it also allows, because it's on edge, you can see on this lung scan, as a learner is scanning back and forth and sweeping, it recognizes anatomy and starts connecting the dots for it. When the clinician slides off the space, it stops. And then when they come back on, they're sweeping, it collects that data retrospectively and pieces it together into one piece, i.e., the clinician doesn't need to know the perfect exam. So here there are A-lines present and there's lung sliding. When you look at the echo, apical four chamber is always the toughest. Nobody gets a good view. It tells you when you have a good view by telling you that you have labeling. And then when you're off axis, it still stores it. Most other technology forces you to get the best view. We force you to sweep and gently learn how to do this as a new learner. And again, you can imagine this works for abdomen, for IVC, gallbladder, kidneys. All the format with our large AI data set allows us to learn and to teach all the time. So your new learner always has a coach with them.
That's so again, awesome. I like the 30-second part. We'll dive a little bit more in during the session for Q&A. Emily, who's our next person?
All right, our last up is Butterfly. Thanks, Emily. Thanks, Dan, for the opportunity. Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa Pavery. I lead the partnerships team for the Northeast at Butterfly, and I have Dr. Peter Weimersheimer, who's our VP of Clinical Implementation, on as well. Let me share my screen. We actually opted to record a video because we were both traveling today and weren't sure of Wi-Fi, but tell me if you can see my screen.
Yep.
Yeah, we're good.
Good. All right.
Whatever AI or sim solutions get used for POCUS education, for a learner to truly become proficient at clinical POCUS, they have to scan. Not on a desktop, not on a mannequin, on patients. Butterfly has the most effective solution with the IQ3. It's a state-of-the-art, affordable, accessible, durable probe that's intuitive to use. It's the only fully digital, whole-body scanning system with no lead-based piezoelectric crystals, and has image quality across all scanning applications that rivals basic parts. Students can carry the IQ3 in their pocket. They learn that when they plug the device into a phone or tablet, they have a powerful scanning system to aid in clinical assessment. Because it's a single probe, they also learn to not focus on which probe they're selecting if they have it, but rather on what is the clinical problem that they're trying to solve. And they also understand that for each application, they can easily access features to answer the clinical question. Students can also access other apps in our Butterfly Garden like HeartFocus or ThinkSono, and they can also access ScanLab, our educational app which harnesses AI to support asynchronous learning without having an instructor at the bedside. And they can harness animations, limited didactics, anatomic labeling, a quality indicator, and reference scans to optimize image acquisition. Images can be uploaded for review by mentors and for an image bank. Mentors are able to give timely feedback to students. ScanLab has been already harnessed in multiple med-ed spaces, supporting a small core of faculty effectively teaching over 100 learners. In medical education, it's not feasible to have every scanning session done by a student with a mentor at their side. There has to be a solution for image to be easily uploaded and reviewed. Our Butterfly Compass educational software allows learners to upload images from any place that they're scanning, whether SimLab or in a clinical clerkship. All the images can be collated by different user groups. Mentors can rapidly review images uploaded by students with their structured reporting to give timely feedback. Feedback can also be incorporated into statistics. We have a proficiency dashboard that allows educators to assign specific educational milestones to the students and track their progress. We also have just-in-time videos, Butterfly Academy. In short, Butterfly hardware and software with AI assistance is the comprehensive solution for ultrasound education.
I know my students really enjoyed ScanLab, so those AI-enhanced education tools seem to be very positively received from students in general. So Emily, where are we at?
That's everyone.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. I hope that was helpful for our attendees. So we'd like to open up the floor now to folks who have more questions, want to dive into anything else.
I have a question. It's Josie Valenzuela. Is it okay
Yep,
if
go
I go
ahead.
ahead?
Yep,
Okay,
go ahead.
yeah.
Thanks.
So the one thing that my administration always wants to know is what the price point is. Could we get some idea of cost or a comparison of cost?
So that is one of the questions that I sent out ahead of time to each vendor. All of that information regarding product overview, unique features, what features are currently in development, and assessment component, pricing format, cost per individual user, 10 to 20 users or 150 users versus an institutional license. Who are their current users and what kind of program is the product best for? That is all going to be put into a chart and be viewable after the meeting. And
Okay,
when I have time, to make said chart.
For the AI-enabled platforms, which of you have the automatic switching to various settings? I feel like some of you, if you put it on a different part of the body, it will automatically switch from like cardiac to lung. If I'm on the lung, it'll automatically switch. Which ones have that ability? And I guess from the group, do we feel like that takes something away from the learners where they have to have that cognitive step of choosing settings? And is that an issue of taking that away?
So this is an echo.
The
We
Cosmos
definitely have-
device.
Go
Oh,
ahead, Luke.
sorry.
No, go, Luke.
Yeah, the Cosmos device has we call it auto preset, so it'll change the preset based on what you're scanning.
Yeah, we have that feature as well on our fast, and it'll come into more of our features. I think it actually helps the student rather than detracts from it. I think we leverage our own skill set as memorizing frequencies. I think the more we make this a point and shoot, the more we make this usable by everybody.
On our platform, we just call them training aids, but basically you have like a gradation you could do. So you could either turn on the training aids or turn them off, like incrementally. So in that way, like if you're a complete novice, you can have all the training wheels on. And as you're getting more expert, then you can turn them off if you like. So that actually gives some agency to the user.
Yeah, I think that's
Very
a
cool.
great point. Having the ability to adjust whether the AI is on or off based on the skill level of the user. That's a philosophy we live by as well. A lot of people will start with the features turned on. As they get better, they'll turn them off.
A question I had was that some of you guys had mentioned that you have like quiz banks or Q banks or something going on for kind of assessing what the students or learners are going through. Are there different ways that you can switch up the quizzes? Like, let's say they failed once and then you can change the questions. Is there a way to make it a different ability level, so to speak, med students versus fellows, or can anyone touch on that?
So this is Thomas with the Intelligent Ultrasound. Yeah, on our platforms, those are all very customizable. All quizzes are already loaded, but as the instructor, you can go in and readjust those, add questions, take questions away, anything that you want to do on those platforms.
And this is Jeff Bates with Elevate. So on our high fidelity system, the Biometric system, very similar to Intelligent Ultrasound, is that you can create your own custom quizzes. You can have the system pull up random pathologies for unknown pathology diagnostics. You can control what the data bank is of pathologies that the system will automatically pull from. You can actually pull the specific pathology up if you want to keep the same pathology, the unknown pathology, for all your users the same. Or you can just have it randomly pick from any of over 400 different pathologies to choose from as well. So you can sort it by emergency medicine, sort it by cardiac echo, sort it by pleural, and yeah, basically, at least with the simulator, it's highly customizable to the user's preferences.
I can. Ben Smith.
Adi from
Go ahead.
Sono. So our platform is an open platform. You can edit any content that you wish. You can create your own task, exams. We provide also immediate feedback to the learner. Scoring, we can compare the results to the expert results. And we provide a lot of cool features for both the learner and the educator.
And just from the Sonosum side, I can speak to the specific questions. So there's knowledge checks within each of the courses, and the courses are application specific. There's mastery tests at the end. And then there's a question bank of over 4,000 questions that can be accessed generically. And then there's specific test preps like the FPD AMIS exam or other topic specific exams. And those questions can be variably customized based on who the end user is.
I can add Sayal from Simhawk. And not only you can, in our platform, you can customize the questions and the missions and the tasks, you can add your own, upload your own data and your own, if it's images or 3D volumes, and actually create a questionnaire and test using your own data. So definitely customize Simhawk.
Ben Smith with Core Ultrasound. So on our platform, our questions are very much just what do you see? It's not second or tertiary level questions testing clinical application. It is, here's an echo. For instance, we've got 450 echoes, and is it normal? Is there a pericardial effusion, RV dysfunction, or LV dysfunction? And so the students are going to be going through those three pathologies. About a quarter of those are normal, and then a quarter amongst those other pathologies. And in that way, you'll be able to get granular data on their sensitivity and specificity for disease for each of those three pathologies for all cardiac images. And because there's so many, you can't actually change the difficulty of the questions because it's just purely looking at those, like binary questions. But they have the ability to get assigned those questions and be able to see how they trend over time. It's a fairly robust granular analytics.
I was going to say, and this is Bob Jones from EM Sono. So while our question banks are not customizable, we have enough of them out there, and they are geared towards the learner at each of the levels. So if you know that you're an M1 or an M2, then you know which quiz banks to go towards, and it'll kind of give you an overview as to what the pathology is that's covered there. The other thing that we do is we follow a lot of retrieval practice educational practices. So while it's not necessarily customizable, we know the high yield questions on things, and we have people come back to them at intervals so that maybe 2 weeks later, if you had completed the cardiac module and the EFAT or whatever you were doing, you can come back to those, or you'll be given a quiz 2 weeks later to kind of act as a refresher on the key topics.
More questions and comments?
I'm trying to think about some questions that folks maybe who aren't really into this space yet, or for an institution that doesn't have anything with ultrasound. Are all of you open to kind of a trial period for an institution, maybe for like a single learner or a small subset of learners, to kind of check out the product for a short period of time, that sort of thing?
Yeah, this is Intelligent Ultrasound again. Yeah, we do everything. We can do everything from a remote standpoint. We have a couple of studios here in the U.S. where we can provide 1s, 2s, 3s, up to 200 or 300 people that want to view the product. We can certainly do that.
eSono, Adi from eSono, we can provide you an immediate access because we have a SaaS-based product. to a lot of learners for a limited period. So whenever you wish, it will be our pleasure.
From SonoSim, yeah, we have ways
Same
that we
from
can
Ventari.
set up temporary passes to review content and can work on creating like smaller group pilot projects and things of that nature. We can also do, you know, virtual or live demonstrations and get demo units sent out to individual educators if you'd like as well.
On the Ventari front, we can do that. Trial licenses are no problem. But what we really found is, because it's such an interactive technology, we actually run like an intro workshop, so we can just show up with the gear and then run a workshop, and people can come along and experience it. So that would, you know, double as both a demo, a workshop, and a trial.
If I already have a Quest 2, can I download it, or like, is there a trial version of it that I can use on my own device?
Yeah, if you have a Quest 2, the only thing is you also need a computer that it will connect to. So it'll depend on the specs of your computer. So, but if that's appropriate, sure, you can download it. We can activate a license for anybody remotely.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Akash. I'm affiliated with UCSD, and I have a question. There's a lot of, and I know this is the undergraduate medical education, but any of these, any of you leaders in med ed, are there attempts to form more advanced application, for example, fellowship curriculum for ultrasound fellows, or is that further away down the road? I guess hey, what aspect of these products are you asking about? So in the same way that there's a curriculum that we're developing for residents to learn ultrasound and the common applications, there's more advanced applications such as nerve blocks or Vexus. I'm wondering if there's anything down the pipeline for fellowship applications, more advanced applications.
Yeah, Ben Smith, Core Ultrasound, we're working on just such a course right now. We have basically all the content on our site already, but we're putting it together into course for you guys.
Yeah, this is Thomas with Intelligent
With
Ultrasound.
SonoSim,
We actually
so
have
the answer
that.
would be,
Go ahead. So we
Thomas,
have
go ahead.
you're talking about the.
yes, we have a section on advanced.
I muted SonoSim so you could talk, Thomas.
Thank you.
And then he can talk once you're done.
Sure. So yeah, so interesting enough, we just sold one of our divisions, and it's specifically for that. It's AI for regional anesthesia and needling. So that just got sold off on a clinical side to GE. With that, however, we have a product called Needle Trainer, and Needle Trainer allows for any advanced learner that wants to learn needle placement or regional anesthesia, and that is Needle Trainer, and that is an AI algorithm that highlights the nerve and highlights the surrounding structures and allows you to practice placing an artificial needle into a nerve. So we have that, and that's readily available now.
Great. I'm gonna let SonoSim go, and then BJ has a question.
So yeah, we have a full section of advanced clinical modules that would be applicable to fellowship level training, from echo to OBGYN. There's some advanced breast content. We have an intro to regional on the way. So all of that is there, would be appropriate for fellowship level. And then we, in our question bank, have specific training for the ABEM focused practice designation in advanced emergency medicine ultrasound. So that is a question bank and mock exam generator geared specifically towards ultrasound fellows.
Awesome. Vijay.
Great. It wasn't a question. I just thought a bit more orderly. So just in response to Akash, we covered the whole spectrum basically. So from, I guess, undergraduate medical, but also like residency programs all the way to fellows. So you can do any escalation of content that you like. We also have no block portfolio now kicked off, so we've started with the interscalene block, but over the next few months we'll be putting out FIB, femoral block, suprainfraclavicular blocks, etc. So just like a whole portfolio of blocks, specifically because you asked about it.
That's awesome. What's physically in your hand for the block software?
So you are using the Quest controllers. But in the platform that's represented by the gloved hands, and we've done some, actually many hundreds of hours of like UX and UI testing to make sure that it feels natural and you can have certain interactions that lock the probe and you can balance and all of those things, and also the needle movement. But ultimately, we'll be moving on to haptic gloves. Like we evaluate haptic gloves on like a 6-month basis,
okay.
Where, from a hardware perspective, they're not quite seamlessly integratable yet. But once they are, which is not that far away, we'll be switching out the controllers for the gloves.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So cool.
Jeff, go ahead.
All right, thank you. I love the hand thing. It's like Vijay said, it's very orderly. So for advanced procedures or advanced trainings, again, our task trainers, our Blue Phantom task trainers, you can do paracentesis, thoracentesis. You use your real needles for it, and you actually would use your own ultrasound machines. So certainly a lot of fellows do this. Plus we have advanced transesophageal echo training. I know that more and more emergency medicine departments are starting to do that. TEE, so that's more on the advanced level. And then our online content has a bank of questions that many residents and fellows would use quite a bit. And American College of Chest Physicians actually is one of our biggest customers for it, and they teach it on that advanced level as well.
Yeah, I was going to chime in on that as well, Jeff, just because those are available individual subscriptions, so fellows can purchase on their own and access that content. It's 50+ hours worth of online content, self-examinations. There's even like TTE and TEE demos that you can watch, and that's available, as a individual subscription, or like Jeff said, like a large subscription purchase for an enterprise system.
Great. Any last minute questions?
While people are thinking of their last minute questions, it looks like several of the companies are offering some contact information for like a demo kit. And so we'll try and include that in kind of like the post materials if we can. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. This was super fun, and I hope it was valuable to everyone. And thanks for playing nice and keeping on track with your time limits. And we hope that this was fruitful for everyone on both sides.
Yeah,
Thanks
this is
so
definitely
much.
the best speed dating event I've ever been to. Thank you, everybody. Super great.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
All right.